Hey, that's pretty good.
The weapons in Ninjago have all been very unique. Whether they've been used by our favorite ninja or the main villain of the season, each one has not really been like the last. Obviously there are many of them, and this video has been highly suggested by a lot of people, so today I am counting down the top 10 Ninjago weapons. Also, keep in mind, opinions, okay? Let's get into it. The Jade Blades take the number 10 spot because, despite their name, they're not really blades. Well, they're bladed, but in the series they weren't really used as weapons. Instead, they were used in competition, as the objective of the tournament match. In the sets, they were improved with hilts, chains, and other various attachments to make them look more like weapons. In the sets, they were great for weapons, in my opinion, but in the show, that's a different story. These nostalgic weapons were first seen in the Day of the Departed TV special and were used by the resurrected villains. Not only do they sport designs paying homage to all the previous weapons, their function is an interesting one. Basically, the villains attempted to use these blades to kill the ninja and take their place among the living. That's pretty dark, but I love it. Sensei Yang could craft more weapons just like these ones, though maybe for the ninja side this time. As Hands of Time has not yet been released, we really don't know much about the Time Blades other than the fact that they can manipulate time. This will be very interesting in battle and have a high amount of potential. These blades are able to speed up time, pause time, and do many other actions that can actually have a huge effect on the outcome of a battle. I can't really say much about them because, again, the season isn't out yet and we really don't know much. But because of their potential, they take the number 8 spot on this list. These blades were invented by Cyrus Borg to assist the ninja in the first half of Season 3. They weren't really blades as they weren't sharp and were mostly just used for smacking things, but they also served a different function. They had the ability to hack into things, for example, vehicles. The ninja could take control over various vehicles and make them their own. In addition to this cool feature, they were also responsible for rebooting the corrupted system imprinted with the files of the digital overlord, presumably defeating him. Shurikens were not something I was expecting for a primary team weapon, but they surprisingly worked. The Aeroblades were most likely created by Ronin as a countermeasure against the ghosts. Water isn't the only thing that Moro and his minions are allergic to. Try throwing one of these at them. They won't be around much after that. Throughout Season 5, the ninja had used these blades effectively against the Ghost Army, and I wish they would have been used more in other seasons, though I don't really know what purpose they would serve, other than, being a weapon. The Staff of Elements was a weapon created by Master Chen to harness the power of all the elements at once. With this staff, Chen would then control the elements to activate his spell. This weapon should not be taken lightly, as if Chen gets the better of you, your power will be gone. Unfortunately though for Chen, the weapon is no longer in use due to the fact that Kai smashed it to pieces, but for the time it was around, it was a cool weapon and one of the most unique from the series. The Elemental Blades take the number 4 spot and were the weapons that the ninja gained after unlocking their elemental kimonos in the Temple of Light. These blades are most likely wielded by the first Spinjitzu Master and are some of the most legendary weapons from the series. Able to harness complete elemental power, they were used effectively against the forces of the Overlord and his Stone Army. The only thing I have negative to say for the Elemental Blades is that Lloyd didn't really get one. I can understand why, but for the longest time, the set didn't really seem complete. The Jin Blade is another primary weapon wielded by a villain, this time being Nadakon. Received from his father in the following Ninjago, this blade is everyone's worst nightmare. Combined with Nadakon's cunning personality, the Jin Blade, or the Sword of Souls, can be very deadly. After Nadakon makes you wish yourself away, you'll become forever trapped in this Jin Blade. In the show, the ninja had a tough time dealing with this weapon, but because of how difficult it was to escape, and because of his user, it takes the number 3 spot. This sword is another legendary weapon linked to the first Spinjitzu Master, this time revealing a clue to his final resting place. This weapon was wielded by a multitude of different characters during the 5th season of Ninjago and was very much sought after in that season as well. This is because of its unique ability. The sword actually has the ability to predict the future. You could say it was sort of the original Time Blade. During combat, having the ability to predict your opponent's next move is arguably the greatest advantage of all. Last we saw it, it was with Lloyd, but we haven't really seen it since, which is kind of a disappointment. The original weapons of course come in the number 1 spot. Originally belonging to the first Spinjitzu Master, these are probably the most sacred weapons in the history of Ninjago. Consisting of the Scythe of Quakes, Nunchucks of Lightning, Shurikens of Ice, and the Sword of Fire, the ninja used these weapons effectively in combat. These weapons also have many uses. In addition to, being weapons, they also act as gateways of sorts to unlocking a Spinjitzu vehicle. Things like the Stormfighter and the Tread Assault originate from these weapons. Unfortunately, to control them all at once without dying, you would need to do some weird voodoo stuff like Garmadon did in order to get that power. Samukai, of course, found out the hard way. These weapons made a final appearance during the rebooted arc where they were used to create the mech suit for the physical Overlord, and we never really saw them again after his demise. Overall, the weapons have complete power over creation itself and are some of the most powerful weapons of all. So that was my list of the top 10 Ninjago weapons. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up rating and click subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment stating your thoughts, and remember to leave your video suggestions down below as well for a chance to have your idea featured as an actual video sometime down the road. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. My name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.